All right, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the Big Rig. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep in between the lines. Got your load secure. Okay, was there a disconnect from young homies and older homies back in the day the way there is today? Okay, again, I'm only going to give you guys what I experienced through my life and saw with my eyes, man. Okay, so I'm not speaking for anybody else. Okay, just speaking for me, myself, and that's it. All right. So, was there a disconnect? Yes, there was, but not the way there is today. Not the way there is today. I remember kicking with older vatos, man, and yeah, there was a little bit of, disconnect. They would go ahead and say things like, man, what's up with the music you guys listen to today? Or the way you guys dress and stuff like that. But it was not nearly close to what it is today. Not even close. Now, I started doing my thing, man, somewhere around like the mid-90s into the early 2000s, right? And right around, now I don't know where it is that you guys live, but the areas I was in, man, in SoCal and all, right around 94, 95-ish, the styles really started changing. Like big time, Holmes. Like Chewy says, big time, Holmes, big time, right? Really started changing, man. The whole creased up Dickies, the Charlie Brown shirts, the creased up, Pendletons and all that started going away. Around 94-ish. 95, it really started taking a turn. Come 96, 97, especially like 98, that stuff was all gone, Holmes. Okay, the style was different. The hairdo was different because it was all shaved heads. It was all shaved heads. Nobody was really wearing Charlie Brown shirts anymore. It was all jerseys, football jerseys. And here's the thing, man. Vatos will wear football jerseys just because they look good, not because that was their team. You could have a vato wearing a Raider jersey, and then the very next day, he'd wear a Cowboy jersey. The very day after that, he'd wear a Steeler jersey. The day after that, he wore a Rams jersey. Vatos were just wearing jerseys, dog, just because it looked good. Not because that was their team. I did the exact same thing. I had jerseys of multiple football teams. I wouldn't do that today. It's all about the Steelers, Holmes. But, and the pants were different, dog. Most vatos would wear Friscos. I had like one pair of Friscos. I didn't really like Friscos too much, so I wore Solos. Friscos and Solos that's what vatos were wearing. And by like 98, 99, nobody was creasing their pants anymore. You could probably find a couple of dudes here and there, but for the most part, vatos weren't creasing their pants anymore, man. And that is what I called like the true gang banger style. Right? Not the cholo, not the gangster, but the true gang banger. Not even the gang member, but the true gang banger stilo, dog. Was that stilo? The shaved head, the big pants. Some of those got ridiculous with the size of their pants, dog. Man, really. That's what I kind of considered like the actual gang banger look, man. And you had older vatos, man, that wouldn't be dressing like that, right? And yeah, look, here and there they'll go ahead and say like, man, what's up with you guys and stuff like that. But nowhere near what it is today. Now, a couple of things that I want to go ahead and throw out there. One is, yes, there was a little bit of a disconnect, just like I was explaining, but nowhere near the way it is today. I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys this, man. One of the reasons why I don't think there was a huge disconnect the way I see it today is everybody hung out, dog. Everybody used to kick it. You go outside and you kick it, Holmes. And you'd have, vatos in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and teenagers kicking it. Different time, right? Technology came out and kept everybody inside. So I could be outside at 16 years old kicking in with dudes in their 20s, 30s. Heck, even some vatos in their 40s, dog, might come out and drink a pisto or two. And you might share a couple of words with them, even if it's short-lived. But at least you had that connection with that older homie. That's a thing of the past. That doesn't really happen today. And by the way, if you mouth off, right? If you get disrespectful as a youngster, dog, homies back then weren't caring, dog. They weren't caring, homies. You know, if a vato was 30 years old and you were 16 and you mouthed off, dog, and he didn't like it, hey, dog, he would put hands on you. And he put hands on you like he's throwing down with a vato his age. He'd beat your ass, dog. You know, it was pretty common. It was pretty common, dog. You mouth off, dog. It doesn't matter that you're still a kid and this vato, you know, is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Hell no, he beat you to the ground. You weren't going to the Judas. But I'm sidetracking here. Anyway, so yeah, dog. So yeah, there was a disconnect, but not the way you see it today. So today, Holmes, you don't really kick it with vatos like that, right? I mean, how many vatos are really kicking it with youngsters? How many teenagers or dudes in their, you know, early 20s are really kicking it with vatos, dog, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, connecting and bonding like that, right? Now, let me go ahead and say this as well. It was influential in the wrong ways as well, man. So I don't want to make it seem like it's a good thing. Because while some of the vatos, dog, would go ahead and say like, hey, you know what, man? Do good in school, dog. You know what? Stay off the streets, man. Stuff like that. Hey, Holmes, looking back at it today, I could tell they're just talking to the wind. Homie, they didn't really mean all that. Because when it came down to talk to you seriously, and give you some real true clecha, it was about the calles, dog, and how to run the program. Yeah, some vatos, homie, in their 40s, dog, will come out, drink a pisto or two, and just be like, you know what, man, you don't want to do all this, man. Just, you know, do good in school, right? And that's it. Kind of like, hey, I did my good deed for the day. I'm all right. But when it came down to it, when it really needed, you know, be spoken about the streets and everything, dog, that's when they really got serious. And it's like, hey, come here, dog. I ain't joking with you. This is what's going down. This is how it's going down. Yada, yada, yada. Making it crystal clear for you to get that into your head. All the other stuff, just like, hey, if it goes one ear and out the other, I don't care, dog. As long as I said it, did my good deed, orale. But this stuff right here that came to the calles, I need you to get this. And if you don't get it, Holmes, you got some knuckles coming your way. Right? So there was that form of respect. Right? So today, yeah, Holmes, I see a lot of, you know, disrespect. But I don't just want to put that on the youngsters. Okay? I just don't want to put that on the youngsters. I'm talking to the older vatos too, man. Because I see older vatos over there talking and belittling and bringing themselves down to the youngster level. And now you got vatos, homie, in their 30s, 40s, heck, even 50s. Or they're beefing, dog. Beefing with vatos, dog, that are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. I can expect that from the younger homies because they're young. Not to give them a pass, but yeah, I'm sort of giving them a pass because they're young. What I don't understand are the older vatos. You know, just key example. I was talking to a vato who's he's 46 years old, right? And he was telling me, I don't want to get into the whole conversation, but he was pretty much telling me, and this ain't YouTube, okay? So before anybody says, like, hey, man, who are you talking about on YouTube? I'm not talking about anybody on YouTube. There's somebody that in person, Holmes. This isn't a YouTuber. But he was telling me, man, that, hey, he doesn't get along with this one dude, dog. And he's telling me the guy's name. And I'm like, wait, who, dog? He's all like, yeah, you know that one vato, dog, that lives over there and da-da-da and everything. I'm like, that guy? He's all like, yeah, that dude. And I'm like, Vato's 18 years old, Holmes. He's a senior in high school. And he's all like, yeah, the hell with that Vato, dog. I don't get along with that fool, eh? I'm like, you don't get along with them? Hey, Holmes, as a youngster, man, he's a kid. What do you mean you don't get along with them? Like, you're lowering yourself to this youngster's level where it's like, you guys got beef? It's a little mind-blowing to me. But, believe it or not, there are a good handful of vatos, dog, 30s, 40s, 50s, that put themselves down in that youngster level category, man. Where it's like, oh, I don't get along with this dude, I don't get along with that dude. Oh, this vato. They entertain it. I'm not talking about YouTube. Don't come at me with who you're talking about. I'm not talking about YouTube. Because every time I speak on, when it comes to gangs, I always have a few people coming back to me saying like, hey, are you talking about this dude on YouTube? I'm not talking about YouTube, Holmes. I'm talking about live, in person. That I see. That I witness. This big disconnect between younger homies and older homies. And all I see the older homies do is just talk down on the little homies. And not only that, when the little homies got something to say, it's like you bring yourself down to that level and say, oh, we're beefing now. Beefing, dog? That's a young homie, dog. What do you mean beefing? Yeah, I get it, dog. Some young vatos, dog. Some young dude told me, get mouthy. All right, boom, dog. I got no time for you. That's it. I'll step away, dog. We ain't gonna have this. We're not gonna be beefing. I don't have this pleito with some dude who's 18 years old. Shout outs to all the youngsters. Shout outs to all the youngsters, man. I'm gonna have pleito, dog, with some vato who's 18. Homie, I ain't even looking to have pleito, dog, with a vato my age. So, was there a disconnect between young homies and older homies back in the day, back when I was younger? Yeah, but not to the level that there is today. And I think a lot of it has to do with nobody hangs out anymore. Nobody kicks it anymore, dog. It's very rare for them to have that connection, moms. You know, so, yeah, you know, I hope I answered that question, man, to the vato that was asking me that. But, yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, it could also be a blessing. It can. Because, look, man, while you know, I sends my respects to, you know, to homies and everything, young and older, dog, in some cases, man, you're better off not listening to older vatos, dog, older homies, eh? You know, I'm just, again, giving you guys what I see, my experiences. Okay, some yes, some no. I just hope you're just smart enough to understand, you know, who's there really to give you some good klecha, and who's there, man, just kind of giving you the klecha, man, so you could end up in a wreck. So shout outs, man, to the young camarada that asked me that. I hope I answered your question. I told you I'd make a video on it. Here's the video. And yeah, there was a little disconnect, but not the way there is today. And will there ever be that connection ever again? I don't think anytime soon, man. I don't see it happening. You know, technology has really changed everything, and everybody's indoors, and I don't even think homies are connected the way they once were. And I know this video is getting long, but let me just go ahead and add this as well. I think being camaradas meant a lot more once upon a time, because the time that you actually spent with that individual. Okay, I know I'm sidetracking here, but let me just go ahead and say this, man. You would hang out with your homies, dog, in person. You guys go out riding bikes together, get in trouble together, break windows together, you know, steal candy, whatever it is, dog, you know, as little kids. And you guys will grow up together, you know, building that bondship. Heck, there was video games back when I was a kid, okay? But it's not like today. Back then, if you wanted to play video games, man, somebody had like a Nintendo system. It's like, damn, dog, they had it, Holmes. But in order to play video games together, you had to be in the same room. You had to be in the same room. Forget being in the same house. You had to be in the same room. You had to be right next to them. Playing video games, dog, that sparks a bigger bondship. So as you get older and things become a lot more serious, now you guys are doing a lot more street things, your guys' bondship is much tighter. There's a much tighter bondship, right? So today you have a generation of youngsters that didn't quite grow up like that. All right, they grew up in a time where if you played video games with your homie, you guys were in different houses. You know, sleepovers, homie, going and spending the night at your homie's pad, dog. I thought used to go and spend the night as kids, man. That's a little rare today, man. I don't really hear too many people of letting their kids going over to their friend's house to spend the night. It does happen here and there, but not the way it used to. Just going outside and playing and everything like that, dog, and hanging out with your homies outdoors and everything. The whole game has changed. It's really changed, dog. So just that bondship in general has changed. So if that has changed, yeah, dog, then definitely, man, the connection between young homies and older homies has definitely, there's even a bigger chasm today than there was before. Much, much bigger, dog. And with the styles and the estilos and not being able to hang out, or not that we're not able to hang out, but just the fact that we don't, definitely changes, and that chasm keeps on growing and growing and growing. And older vatos, dog, over there, you know, beefing with youngsters, dog, you know, talking masa about them so much to where the youngsters is all like, hey, you know what, flipping the older vato off. And now the older vato's all like, what? Like he's all straight gangster with it. Now we're beefing. Like, come on, dog. You're an older vato, homie. How are you over there beefing, dog, with a vato who's 20 years old, Holmes? I get it. Some of these young dudes, homie, don't have respect. But at the same time, some of these older vatos, homie, 40s and 50s, don't have respect either, that they claim they do. So, anyway, man, I didn't really want to go off on a rant like that. Again, I want to make it clear, because every time I do a video on, you know, gangs, somebody always needs to throw it out there like, hey, are you talking about this YouTuber or that YouTuber? I'm not talking about any YouTuber. I'm not talking about any YouTuber at all. So I was just answering a question to a young camarada, man. So anyways, man, gracias, dog, for asking me that question. I hope I answered it, man. As always, familia, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep it safe. Distance blood makes you live. Loyalty makes family. Till next time, this is Ed the Troll Trucker. Over and out.